Welcome back to my team, guys, as we're here for another episode, and this one is the Circuit of the Americas, round 14 of the season. Now, if you haven't seen round 13 at Miami, the previous episode, go watch it. Spoilers ahead, so link in the top right. Let me just say, it was a pretty chaotic episode. A couple of safety cars and some AI battles throughout the entire race. So, with that said, this weekend, it was meant to be a triple upgrade. However, the rotor speed for the ERS has failed. So, first thing we're going to do after the last race in Miami is repurchase that failed upgrade, and hopefully it will arrive soon. To add to that, we're going to also purchase the crankshaft on engine power, and finally the MGUH level 3 upgrade. As you guys know, we lost our first one in Portimao in round 2. So we've been kind of dragging that second one along to the point where it's in the mid 80% range, and it's been burned up quite a bit. So we've made it this far. I'm going to change it now to the final allocation, and I think we should make it, especially with that final upgrade. Now, as for practice, pace looks insane, by the way. This could be one of our strongest tracks in a little while. Both cars looking on the pace, and I'm feeling optimistic heading into qualifying. We could actually have a decent result on our hands. As you can see, after practice, we are going to get rid of that MGUH, which is on 84%, and we're going to move into Spec 3, which is our last one. Hopefully we can make it last until the end of the season. To add to that, we're also going to take a gearbox and move to number 3. We're on 52%, which isn't a big concern, but with 8 rounds to go and 2 gearboxes left, we can afford to move to another one and, keep the wear down on both of them. So, here we are, qualifying time at the Circuit of the Americas. Miami didn't go according to plan in terms of qualifying. We had the pace, but we messed up our final lap and we got knocked out in Q2. So hopefully today we can do a better job as we get underway. Now, our first lap on the medium, actually we got a beautiful tow from Pierre Gasly all the way down the back straight, which should account for a 10th or so, and that's going to really help us out and hopefully give us a bit of a better lap time here on this banker lap. So we're going to speed things up just to kind of get to the end of the lap, and yeah, hopefully we can get the job done straight away. Through the penultimate corner though, we just run a little bit wide and invalidate by the smallest of margins, which was a bit of an unfortunate one. So yeah, I went ahead, finished the lap anyway, 33.6. We've got a decent delta to aim for, on our next lap. So I went for a cool down lap and then a second push, as usually a second push lap on mediums is 95% of the time faster than the first lap. Even if the tyre wear is a bit higher, the tyres just seem to be nicely up to temperature and they perform better. So as you can see, we're 3/10 up and it's looking pretty good. We was 2/10 up in a bit, but then we lost about a 10th on the back straight, and now we're finding more time through sector 3, this time keeping it within track limits. Slight snap of oversteer as we now go through the final corner. Nicely done, nice and tidy, decent exit up to the line, and we improved by nearly 4/10, and we move up into P9, which is pretty insane actually, only 4/10 off Hulkenberg in P7. Eventually back to the garage, we're still P9, and we've got a 6/10 cushion over P16. So with that in mind, I'm going to not go back out and call it there and basically get through Q1 on the mediums. And yeah, happy days. Hulkenberg in P8. Leclerc setting the pace, 32.1. And yeah, overall things looking very positive starting out here, because you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of this circuit. I don't like the circuit that much, and I'm not very fast around here. So if I can do well here, that's a positive sign heading into the final few races of the season. So here we are, Q2, and we're going to put the soft tyres on, and we're going to see if we can hopefully get through on just one set of tyres, ideally, which is what let us down in Miami. So after turn 1, the black box on the right is your reference. Brake down to 4th gear. Make sure they pick up a late-ish apex to get a decent exit out of turn 1 and down the hill through turn 2. We're now heading to the S section. So turns 3, 4, 5, and then 6 and 7 are kind of double apex right. Then into 8, and then we go into 9 and 10. Important here, especially if you choose to get lots of inside curb, as there's a lot of time to find. Now then, down the hill through 11, into 12, try and spot the braking about 60 meters, 65 meters, down to 4th gear. Make sure to get the car rotated, and crucial to get a good exit here, because this straight is massive, so you want to really make sure you drive off well out of the hairpin. DRS open as we now look for the braking zone to turn 13. which is going to be the 100-meter board. At the third, take lots of inside curve through here. You won't get done for cutting. Now into the final sector. As you can see, we're purple on the mini-map as we head for the double right. Now into the double left. Rule line here, you want to try and take as a apex to get a good bit of drive out of here to carry that speed through the triple rights. And yeah, we've now got pretty much 2 corners remaining. This next one, blind apex, you've got to kind of guess. I turn in at the black box on the right. That's kind of the reference. And now the final corner, black box again as your braking point. 4th gear, back on the gas. DRS open, across the line. 32.1 and 2nd place. That will do very nicely as we go pretty much a full second quicker than what we've done in the mediums in Q1. And that puts us right in the mix. And you can see at the end of Q2, Leclerc setting the pace, 31.8 up front. Both of our cars in the top 5, and we're looking pretty decent. We're looking in the mix here today for the battle for pole, I think. Might need to find a bit more pace as we're 3/10 away, but I do feel like there's more pace in the lap. Our first sector wasn't great on that lap. It was a bit too safe through the S's, trying not to invalidate. So now, because we have 2 sets of soft tyres in Q3, we can afford to risk and give it everything. And this first lap was actually absolutely insane. Really going well so far. Through the final corner though, we just cut the apex and I could not believe it. We set a 31.6 invalid, which is the fastest lap of the weekend so far, but it doesn't count. The only good thing is we have a good delta for this final run, so I'll let you guys enjoy with the engine sound and hopefully we don't invalidate.
Mate, really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
And there we have it then, pole position at the US Grand Prix at the circuit of the Americas after getting knocked out in Q2 last time out in Miami and having a bit of a poor qualifying. We bounced back straight away with a huge P1 here today. Hulkenberg dropping the ball a little bit, his pace dropping and performance dropping a little bit as qualifying went on. He finishes in P8, which is a bit of a surprise, but I mean, I'm here for it. He's one of our title rivals. Russell, the big surprise on the front row. Verstappen, our other rival in P3, Perez P4, and Charles Leclerc, P9. He actually set a 31.8 in Q2, so he went slower in Q3 and didn't quite deliver. Ferrari have been on and off the pace all weekend, and yeah, that's a big one. Sainz in P6 as well. It's a mixed up grid, but crucially, we're at the front. So this could be a chance for us to possibly go for the win, and that would be a massive statement of intent for the World Championship.
Welcome once again then to the United States Grand Prix here in the magnificent city of Austin. It was here in 2018 that Kimi Räikkönen delighted the world by taking the top step of the podium for the first time in 114 races. There's always a record to be broken, so what, I wonder, is in store for us today? We have 10 turns to the left and 10 turns to the right here at the fantastic circuit of the Americas. overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and turn 12 at this anti-clockwise track. It's 3.6 miles long, and we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris, and Sainz, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Leclerc, and Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Albon, Lance Stroll, and Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Joe, Kevin Magnussen, and Valtteri Bottas, Ricciardo, Ocon, Tsunoda, they've taken a grid penalty, and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Here we go then, it's time for the main event, P1 and pole position for the race here in Austin, and this would be a great result if we could bag a full 25 points for the championship. The pressure's on, I feel like it should go our way. Usually our race pace is better than our one lap pace. There has been a few exceptions, but for the most part, that's been the case. Last race, we didn't really have the race pace or the pace overall in Miami, to be fair, but this seems to be a different story. Ideally, I would like to, have a nice, boring, comfortable race with no highlights or safety cars. So hopefully the car in front of us, we don't have to see it anymore this race. Strategy is going to be a medium to hard tyre strat. Very simple, straightforward. No rain whatsoever forecasted today. Beautiful sunny skies. 1 lap extra fuel. And yeah, the plan is to just go flat out, break DRS and drive off into the sunset. So let's get into it. Let's see what happens. And hopefully we can convert pole into race win. Right, so tyre temperatures are absolutely perfect. We've done a good job. We've worked the tyres pretty hard, but we've got the temps we need. So we're going to hopefully get a decent bit of drive. Hopefully get a decent start from pole. Well, let's line her up and let's see if hopefully it all goes according to plan. First things first, it's going to be lining up aggressive and hoping to get a decent pull away. There we go.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Might just skip to the start. This could take a second, to be fair. Underway. It's not the best start. Verstappen gets a flyer on the soft tyre and he's going to turn in, so we have to just back out. Russell on the outside as we go side by side through turn 2 into the S section. Who's going to blink first? Russell has to back out, but Verstappen races into the lead, going for the alternate strategy on the soft tyre, which is interesting. We'll see how that works out, whether he 1 stops or 2 stops. Tyres are beautifully up to temperature, by the way. We can push straight away. So really good formation lap from us. Let's see if we can hold pace with Max. I think that would be very impressive if we were to be able to stay within his DRS range. Also, we're going to look at the deltas just to see what the straight line speed's like. Looks like we've got not a lot of straight line speed. Russell's actually matching, if not slightly catching, which isn't a good sign as the Merc's usually the slowest car. So clearly a bit faster in the corners, more than the straights. Verstappen already making a break for it. Things will, go away on lap 3 once the first 2 laps are done. The AI tend to turn their engines down, or they've run out of battery, so that's when the race will start to go our way a bit more. For now though, Russell keeping up. Ocon out of the session. Looks like it's not going to trigger an early safety car or virtual safety car, but he's out at the penultimate corner. So that's 1 car out of the race already. Verstappen making a break for it here. 1.7 second gap. Bit of a moment there, just losing the back end. Just managed to catch it, a little bit too much gas through there. Luckily we've managed to hold on, but we lost a bit of time because of that. DRS will now be enabled next lap. Important that we try to pull away from Russell a little bit before the back straight. First warning, but we're going to take it in our stride, as we might just be able to break Russell's DRS. Not quite, I think he's just held on. Bit of a shame there, I was going to commit to that. Verstappen 2 seconds up the road, To be fair, right, if Max makes a soft medium work, he could be a threat. I've used up all my battery now to try and pull away from Russell, but let's see what Max does. I think he's going to two-stop, that's my gut feeling, but if he does one-stop it, then he's in the race for sure. So it's going to be important over these next few laps that we get him back now with the tyre advantage as the soft starts to wear out. Right, so Russell's still there. I've stopped using ERS. I'm trying to recharge, so I'm not able to drop him without battery assistance. Our straight line speed just isn't there, so Russell's catching back up in the DRS zones. We're starting to catch Max now though, because we're still closing without having to use battery, which is a telltale sign. Max is starting to run out of tyres already. Best thing we can do right now is try to get within a second and then get some DRS. Russell up the inside. Have to defend. I didn't think he'd commit to it, but he did. I can't recharge battery, man. I had to use a big chunk of it. My hairpin wasn't great. Defended fairly. Left some space, but this is allowing Max to get away. This is the worst thing. No, we don't want this. I might have to just let the tools go and just try and sit in his DRS because I just can't recharge and I can't use it. Max pits as well, which is great timing. So that's a two-stop, 100%, if Max is pitting this early. So let's treat this like a race lead. Russell now under pressure from Perez, actually, so we might have a break here, a lucky break. Might try and use whatever battery I've got here to try and pull away definitively and break the DRS. Just when we look like I was struggling for pace. 1.2, we might just have the break we need here. This could be it. So Russell and Perez battle away into the S's and still going side by side, I think, so this is perfect for us. Incredible timing. Massive slice of luck. Just got to make this one stop work now because I'm struggling with rear tyre wear quite badly, but there we go, 2.2 seconds. Russell, Perez losing a massive chunk of time. And they're going to keep battling now as Russell has no DRS on me, so they're going to keep swapping places. So we can afford to, you know, run around here and hopefully recharge a bit of the battery, so we'll try and do that. Well, Russell's back within DRS range. Didn't take long. I can't really explain what's happened, but the pace isn't there, and this isn't me, you know, trying to be slow. The two sectors, which are 2 and 3, which I was fastest in qualifying, or faster than, they're actually my Achilles heel one slowed in sectors 2 and 3 in the race, and sector 1, which was terrible in qualifying, is my strongest one in the race. So it's completely flipped. From having 2 strong sectors to 1 weak one, I've now got 2 weak ones to 1 strong one. So yeah, at the minute, we're just hanging in there, but Russell's bringing the party with him yet again. Also got to hope there's a bit more battling. I might bring this in early though. I did get offered a strategy change a moment ago. I might actually reconsider and pit lap 11 because it's not looking great. Battery recharge is a real struggle. Russell right on my gearbox. Look at that. Insane straight line speed, to be fair, and that's from a Mercedes as well. We get the cutback though. Russell runs it in a bit deep into turn 1, and just like the first lap, we're side by side yet again. So Noda out as we head into the S's, and we yet again win the battle as we get in front.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Okay, that was really key to stay in front there. We can pit now and take the pit stop, and also crucially get our tyres warmed up.
There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Okay, copy that.
Right, this is perfect. Things are just going our way today. Sometimes it's your lucky day. Right, we're going to box this lap for the hard tyre, and we'll get to hopefully keep our lead and warm the tyre up, so we're not going to be at a disadvantage. Let's make sure to pit and also time this delta correctly.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low, and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Don't want to give up any time under delta in case we get held. Easy into the pit lane. Right, let's go. So Russell not right underneath us, which is good, so we should keep our lead. Russell might get held, to be fair.
Okay, Nico's into the pits. Nico in the pits.
This needs to be perfect. Hulkenberg's going to have to stack. 2.5, and there goes Hulkenberg. Bit of a time loss for him, but not major.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
And we just hold on to the lead. Verstappen, who has pit of course, P3, and hasn't pit under the safety car. So, this is big now. Verstappen is out of sync.
You're approaching the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
And not just that, of course Verstappen is one of our championship rivals, so Max will have to stop again, and he could go backwards, which this could be a definitive race in the championship, or at least really, you know, be a real breaking point. Safety car in this lap, and again we're completely under control by the game, under limiter, under traction control and ABS, so I can't get any tyre warm up, so we're going to lose temperature here. I'm flat out, I'm literally pushing the throttle flat out, but this is all the game's giving me right now, so I can't do much more than this. Just going to try and get a last bit of tyre warm up here. Try and get a decent restart. Alright, let's get ready. This is it. Warm up the rears and try to swing it round the final corner. There we go. Decent restart. Let's see what the pace is like on these tyres. Verstappen will be a threat, especially versus Russell, so we may have a chance to break away here from George, especially if Verstappen looks to get by, as his mediums should still be in decent nick. But let's see if these tyres are better for us in terms of race pace and performance. It's going to be hard though. The first few laps, AI are going to be flat out using all of their batteries, so we're going to have to work hard to keep them at bay. The grip is fantastic though, fresh tyres working well, but Russell is even to the challenge. Well, so far it's going pretty damn well. To say that AI are in full power mode, they're going to turn their engines down now, and we've got the 1 second gap over George, and I haven't had to use all my batteries, so this is encouraging so far. Early signs on the hard tyre are good. Max isn't that quick.
Okay, the field is now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
So fastest lap, Verstappen out of Russell's DRS range as well, so that's good news. It's going to break the train. But at the minute, it looks like we've got the gap over George, and we've got the pace to pull away. So let's see if this is legit or not. Well, this looks legit to me. It's still pretty close, pace-wise, but we've got just a tenth and a half more this stint that I can just defend myself with. With one mistake and we're in trouble. I've got to try and keep it up. Still just one warning on track limits. Let's try and keep it that way as we approach the final 10 laps. But the car's working well. The first sector is on point. Every single lap we're just nailing it, and it's helping us get a bit of lap time, which is what we need. Second warning. Gotta be careful now. Pushing the limit just a bit too much. Verstappen though in the pit lane. Got to Russell 1.7. Russell pushing on again. This isn't over yet. I can't go any quicker than this, and I'm starting to really run thin on battery. Russell's closing the gap. Seems like as tyre wear kicks in, I'm struggling a bit more for pace than George. 1.3 now. There we go again. Russell has DRS. To be fair, there's a healthy gap to Perez behind him. Might be worth not battling maybe and trying to recharge my batteries. See how I feel. I'll see how confident I am in wheel-to-wheel combat. But I'm trying to recharge now. Russell might challenge here. Gap was 8.5 tenths out the hairpin. Look at him closing in. Doesn't quite do enough. Let's try and keep it that way. Russell's just gone a little bit cold in the last couple laps. Not quite as aggressive or as fast as he once was, which is allowing me to still recharge battery. 2 laps to go next time around. Just got to try and keep it this way, keep it clean. I'm trying to save all the battery for the last lap, or last lap and a half. Whenever I feel like or detect Russell flicks a switch and goes full power mode, that's when we're going to have to use up all of our batteries. So I'm trying to save as much as I can up until that point, which could begin this time next lap. Okay, I think this is it. Russell is starting to push now, I can feel it. I think he's running full power. So we're going to start using our battery now for this last lap. Very important that we have a nice clean final lap. Russell makes a bit of a mess at the final corner, so we're going to get a chance here. Let's see if we can try and break a bit of a gap. Good turn one. Happy so far. Oh, that let me down a little bit. I might just break the DRS. That one mistake might have just cost me there. That was a really good S section. But I think we've done enough. We can use all the battery here, and Russell won't close in, albeit with DRS, which he does have because he's closing in. But look at this, we've got the answer. We've got the antidote to the problem. And let's not pick up a final warning, please. Let's keep it clean. Goes to show, we have the pace on a one-off lap. It's just consistently over a race we didn't have the pace. Tyres were letting go more than other cars, so we were struggling with the rear end. That was an issue. Clearly a bit too high in the wing, as I was not able to recharge any battery. Let's get through this corner nice and safely. There we go. Right, this is big for the championship. Leclerc, Verstappen not in the top 5, and we win in USA.
That's it then for another magnificent United States Grand Prix, and they have hung on to take a sublime victory here today. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
What a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
So here are the race results, and it's a massive day for us, not just in the Drivers' Championship, but also in the Constructors. Now let's break it down. First things first, fair play, George Russell, insane pace. I had the 1 lap pace, but over the race George was quicker, and we just got a bit lucky. You know, we kept it clean at the right points. You know, we got bailed out by the safety car, which meant we didn't have to go through a tyre warm-up phase out the pits on the hard tyre, which definitely would have put me exposed to Russell getting an undercut or an overcut. Either way, we survive and we get a massive W here today. Perez rounds off the podium ahead of Lando Norris in an impressive P4, confirming McLaren's improvement and higher pace. Sainz P5 with the fastest lap. Hulkenberg moves up to P6 after starting from P8. Hamilton and Leclerc P7, P8. Leclerc struggling really, and even on the pace, miles away. Albon P9 for Williams, fantastic result ahead of Alonso. I think Leclerc got stuck behind Albon most of the race, and then I think he passed him at the end, but yeah, Leclerc nowhere this weekend. Missing out on the points, Vettel, Gasly, Schumacher, Ricciardo, big gap to his teammate, Zhou, Bottas, Verstappen, P17 on the 2-stop ahead of Magnussen, Latifi, Stroll and Tsunoda and Ocon out the race. So that is big for the championship. You can see we take the lead and we're 11 points ahead of Leclerc, 18 clear of Verstappen and 19 clear of Hulkenberg. Perez is just outside of a race win behind, and Russell with that podium moves into P6 ahead of Carlos Sainz. I still think there's a top 7 there, from Sainz up to myself. We're all fighting for the win, and you know, one race win can change things really quickly, so it's all to play for. In the Constructors, we're 25 points clear, and we for the first time have a little bit of breathing space. Mercedes, I think, are now officially out of the running, and it's red hot between us, Red Bull, Ferrari, and there's a single one point splitting those two. So guys, it's heating up. The championship's going to go to the wire. Don't go anywhere, anything can happen. But leave a like if you enjoyed today's episode and subscribe for more. It really helps out the channel, guys, as I'm on the run to 100,000 subs. And yeah, as always As always, a shout out to the members. Finally, check out the videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.